Hey guys, Young Gun Metal Casting. This is part 2 of my video on green sand. In the first video I showed you, I was sifting through the sand. There's my tarp, it's pretty much empty. Here's my bucket of sifted sand. It's a little packed down because I've been playing with it a little bit, but as you can see, holds detail nicely, doesn't stick to my hand, breaks cleanly, chunks don't fall off. Make some great molds out of that stuff. Now here's the bucket of the other sand that I wasn't able to sift. If you'll notice a couple of light chunks in here, those are actually chunks of coarse sand. You may or may not end up getting some of those if you get scrap sand from a foundry. In part 1 I also mentioned that I would tell you some places to find green sand. I forgot to do that in the first video, but what you can do is go on the internet and just do a quick Google search or go to Yellow Pages, try and find some local foundries and just call them up and explain that you do hobby metal casting and you're wondering if they have any scrap sand that you could maybe take a 5-gallon bucket or a couple 100 pounds. Larger foundries probably won't have a problem with it. Smaller, some of the smaller aluminum and brass foundries may or may not have extra sand. I actually got lucky one time a couple of months ago. I took a tour of a local brass foundry and I was talking with the owner and walking through the place, and when I was done with my tour I had explained that I do hobby metal casting, and he ended up actually just giving me a Folgers coffee can half full of powdered bentonite clay, which I was fairly happy with. But anyways, this sand right here, all these chunks, seems to have a lot of moisture in it. I think I may have added a little bit too much water to the mix, but I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this just yet. I'd like to let it dry out before I try and break it down. May end up building a ball mill or something similar to that, just to kind of break down these larger chunks. And some of these, like this one right here, is more like silly putty than anything. You can squeeze it, it holds its shape, it's just no good. But this sand right here I'm pretty happy with. Hopefully you guys will be able to get some too. I would definitely recommend this over a homemade green sand. I've actually got a bucket over here. There's my little mini foundry. I've got a bucket here that I've been using just to put slag and stuff. This was regular sandbox sand that I had bought from a local hardware store. Dig down somewhere here so that I got some wet stuff. This stuff I had gone through and sifted too, and it's a little bit wet, but this stuff is really, really grainy, and it's going to leave a rough texture on your casting. And you know, it'll work if you're just starting out, but if you're thinking about doing some serious metal casting or you just want to save time on your finishing, I would definitely recommend this foundry stuff. So, like I said, give your local foundry a call, see if they have any waste sand that they'd be willing to either let you have or maybe even sell you. I can't imagine if they wanted to sell it that it would be very expensive. Maybe $5 for a large bucket like this. So I guess that's it for this video, and stay tuned for future videos.